Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. What's going
Hey, hey.
on?
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
I'm excited about tonight's live.
We
So
got
am
a killer
I. I get
show.
to,
Let's rock this.
We have one viewer
no
on.
pun intended.
When y'all jump on, we cannot see who is making comments. So if you would just say hi to us, let us know who is on. That would be great. Because I don't want to, call y'all by number one and number two, number three. I would like to know who we're talking to. So what's going on? What y'all doing on this Saturday night? We are going to talk about killer women. Not in fine body wise and sexy wise. We're talking killers. Killers. Just saying. What
We got
makes
that.
them kill?
Yeah, that serial love life of theirs.
It's crazy because sometimes I think everybody that does that's a serial killer is it's always saying, oh well, I was abused as a child. They always bring that up.
Oh, I get it.
I think that card is played too much because there's a lot of people that I know that has been abused some way, and they're perfectly fine as far as they're not going around killing people. Do
Exactly.
you think it's because of that, or do you think it's because
Right.
they're just pure evil?
I think someone lost a screw along the way.
Yeah, especially the ones that do it and they're like, less like really into it. And it's like, yeah, I found it amusing and I drank their blood, or
Well,
Mom and I watched. Do what?
I think that it's people that get they were abused and then they seek their revenge on other people, but enjoyed that power from seeking revenge on
Yeah,
those other people. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
enjoy it. And I think that's where it goes wrong. They enjoyed having that control, that power over whoever it was. You know, they took it, they took it back. But I do know a lot of people who have been abused and make that choice to say, hey, I'm not going to do the same thing that was done to me either.
right. But there
And I'm
has to
not
be
going
some kind of. It's like, I don't know. I think the devil lives in them. I think they have gone beyond fixable. Do you think that they can be fixed? You think they can go into rehab? Even if they go into
oh,
prison for the
no.
rest of their life, do you think that they're like 25 years later come out and say, hey, I'm a new person. Yeah, I killed all these people in the past.
No.
No, I don't think
No,
so
I
either.
think I think we are creatures of habit.
Yeah. I think that we're wasting money on putting them in prison on a life sentence. I think if they
Right.
know without a shadow of a doubt that they did it, they have admitted to it. I think we might as well just, and I'm not being mean, but why do we need to pay for the rest of their life when they've taken somebody else's and they're probably going to do it again?
Right.
I get very frustrated with our
Yes.
justice system.
And for me, that brings up like a whole nother conversation of the prisoners that are in jail and the actual like stuff that they have. And they have,
Yeah.
the access and their living conditions, and they claim to be
Yes.
mistreated. And I get some of them are pretty bad, but for a lot of them, they got more stuff than what I have on the outside.
Exactly.
You know what I
They have
mean?
three
But
meals, free gym, free movie night. We are paying for everything. Why are we doing that? Now, I'm
Right.
not saying my grandfather, and I'm not bragging that he was in prison, but my grandfather, years and years and years ago, he's the one that I told y'all that knew Bonnie and Clyde, and
Right.
he was in hardcore prison from what I've heard, from stealing pigs, and he also made moonshine. Okay, but when he was in prison, they was out working the fields. They was out working
Yeah,
actually
the chain gang.
was working. Yeah, chain
That's
gang.
exactly what I was going to say, the chain gang.
The chain gang.
And now, do they do any of that? They might go out and pick up trash every once in a while. But
Right.
if we're gonna throw them asses in jail, and if we're gonna pay for them, they need to be doing something else besides lifting weights and getting stronger to beat up somebody. That's the way
no
I'm looking
doubt.
at it.
See, that's what I said. This is like a whole nother topic for me, because like I could go on about it, and I do commend that Maricopa County jail where he has them. They are not. They go out and chain gang. They live in a tent if they want something. They have TV. However, it's generated through an exercise bike. So if they want to watch TV, somebody has to jump on that exercise bike and generate the electricity for it.
Right.
So
that's a good idea.
So I think, some things like that. But like I said, I think to me that's a good topic for another day.
Yeah, definitely.
But getting to your being rehabilitated, that one's a good one.
Hey, I can actually see some names popping up. Kim James says 100% agree. Hello, ladies. I don't know who that's from. Christine Snow says, hello, ladies. I have another one that says, hey, ladies. Hey, y'all. I thank y'all for jumping on. This might be a touchy subject for some people. I hope we don't offend anybody. But this is what this is all about, jumping down the rabbit hole and discussing this stuff. This is what we want to bring all this, out in the open. And Mark is like, I'm not a lady. Okay, Mark. Hang on, Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
I know my camera.
What is his name? The Mark? Hey, your camera isn't on.
I'm trying.
Okay.
So
controls are off.
Okay. So what we decided to do, we have all these, and we've told y'all this in the past. We have all these subjects that we're gonna talk about, but we kind of just threw them all in a bowl, and every week we are picking one to discuss. So if y'all have a topic or something, please let us know, and we will find out whatever information we can find out about it. Tonight, we decided that we drew women serial killers, and I would kind of like to know, I know personally there's times where I flip out, and the girls have seen me flip out. People close to me have seen me flip out, but I would never be the type of person that would go around killing somebody. I mean, yes, do I get pissed off? Yes. Do I want to fight you? Yes. But there's a cutoff point. What makes them
right?
Most logical people's like that. To me, they would have to have literally no. What am I trying to say?
Perception.
Yeah, and have to be completely disconnected with emotions.
Very disconnected. Exactly.
I don't know. It's just weird. I've always
like I said, somebody lost a few screws along the way. It doesn't matter if you've had no direction whatsoever. I mean, you are born with all that in your heart, and how that just
Well,
dissipates throughout the years, and you decide that, oh, I'm going to kill animals, and then I'm going to take it another notch up, and I'm going to kill a human being, and then I'm going to kill a certain human being, and I'm going to run. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
And like you said, drink the blood. I mean, or collect the hair, or let me cut the skin off and wear it.
Well,
or
that's
let me sit
that's
on a
something like
severed leg and drive
Yeah.
around.
Mom and I was
With
watching
it in a
something last
shopping cart.
night. Mom and I was watching something last night, and I had never heard of this one before. This is another subject that we can come up or that we can discuss. But these guys, they was they was satanic, and their thing was these rituals that they would cut the boobs off of these victims while they was alive and have sex.
I like
Inside of the hole on the woman. What? And then
Oh,
yeah, and then they would do their thing and then eat it.
They cut the nipple off and put the pecker
Ooh.
in the nipple hole.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
That's the only thing I could think of. I don't know.
literally, they would take a piece of wire and put it around the boob and literally cut it with a piece of wire. And
Ah,
then they would do their thing to it.
that's friggin'
Now-
insane.
So I mean, that's a whole
Yeah.
another story, but that's, I mean, I would like to discuss it in the future because that's just, I'm infatuated.
right.
I mean,
Because there's a scientific, there's actually scientific backing behind that, emotions and stuff, and actual blackout rage actually happens for only, I think it's like 5 seconds, where you have no actual self-control. But at some point within those 5 seconds, there's something that clicks and you have that option at that point to either stop or continue. And that's where a lot of them get in trouble, or that's how they get convicted, is the intent there? At what point did you realize and continue, or did you stop?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I don't-
insane.
Yeah, I find it's like I'm not infatuated with it. I'm just like, I'm beyond, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I just don't know how, and like
Well,
Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, he wasn't abused when he was a kid. I mean, not that I know of, was he?
I don't
think
think so. Actually, I think he was pretty well off, actually.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that he was spoiled. But I mean, and I think they had money, but I don't think he was abused. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But tonight we're going to talk about women killers. And Suzanne, I'm going to let you start off because you are the one who brought this first person up. And Mark, if you would, when we get comments, would you please read them so we can, respond to them?
I don't see none. They're not coming up on my screen.
Okay, do you see over on the side where it says comments, banners?
Look down on your phone, down at the bottom where it says chat.
Yep.
Okay, click on it.
Because there's one person on here that says that one would cut out their eyes.
Okay. And are you on, do you see click on, at the top, there's tabs. One says comments, click on that one.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we have another one that's saying, speaking of women murderers, that rat Yolanda is getting out soon.
Oh, Yolanda. They talking about that Yolanda Saldivar
Okay, somebody
with the
says,
Selena, with
I
Selena's.
don't know who said this. Okay, I'm scared. Jody was really pushing this issue earlier. Maybe that's Philip. Maybe he needs to be scared. One Facebook person said, whoop, whoop, I feel like killing someone. There's times where,
Please do not kill anybody.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, let's kind of keep those kind of comments to a low pro.
Let's put a disclaimer on this,
Yeah.
or we're all going to end up in jail.
We're not responsible for what you do or how you do it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, in your best defense, don't put on here.
Yeah, don't put it on here.
Yeah, that would be bad for y'all. Okay, we are not condoning anything. We're just wanting to talk about it and just try. I mean,
Right.
just try. I just can't. I when I read this and look and listen to this stuff, it's just amazing to me.
So the first person
Go ahead.
that I thought of during this subject was, and I butchered her name, and I'm so sorry. Her name is Eileen Wuornos. I think that's the correct way to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Eileen Wuornos. And she was around Florida. She would go up and down the highway picking up or soliciting, prostituting, and she would pick up people. And she killed them. And she was doing it to for her and her girlfriend to be able to stay afloat, rent, do all this stuff, but she did get caught.
Yeah.
She got
So
caught
that's
eventually.
the one that they made the movie out of, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
They made the movie.
Isn't the movie called Monsters?
Yes, Monster.
Yeah, Monster.
Okay.
And I think that did a real great depiction. But again, someone like her early childhood, she was molested. She was raised by her grandparents. She did have the hard life. They pretty much lived out in the sticks, the little brush forest area. And at a young age, she learned that if she wanted stuff, that she could offer sex to get what she needed. So that's how that behavior started and got her into soliciting.
So I'm reading right here. She was abused by her grandfather in sexual relations with her brother.
Yes.
And I just feel like, and this is bringing up a whole nother different subject. I always believe that if you're being sexually abused at a young age, I believe like 98% of the time, the woman, the mother knows that it's happening. If not, I mean, something's weird, I think.
Right. I don't know. I think it just depends. I think they may not know unless somebody brings it up to them and then they get to notice it.
The reason I say that is because, like, if you're living with that person in the same house, to me, it would be like, I would want to stay away from them. And I would automatically start, like I'd be scared to be around them. I wouldn't want to be around them.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And it as a mother,
you would question. You feel like you would question why they don't want to be around them.
Well, I can tell you for sure though that whenever I know of a situation to where the woman was more dependent on the man and worked all the time and thought that she was beneath that guy, and this fly keeps jumping around.
I have a fly in here too that's bothering me. It's like, okay.
It's driving me nuts, and trying to
And
ignore it.
that too is part of a lot of the problem is that the women in those relationships, you know, they feel like if this person is able to groom a child or, you know, their victim, because a lot of times they groom their victims. They
Yeah,
train them. It's not something that they
that's
just
true.
go in and start raping, you know, these people or molesting them. They groom them little by little, you know,
Right.
pushing that boundary until
Yeah.
they get to where they want to get. And a lot of the times they're manipulative people. So I feel like the mother may or may not know, I mean, doesn't know, and maybe they feel like they can't say anything. You know, if the person could tell the child, you better not say anything, or you're going to go to jail, or I'm going to kill so and so, and they get that manipulation going there, what's to stop them from manipulating the mother? You know what I mean? Into saying,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
just your imagination. It's just.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. And this is why I wanted, you know, to start this group to begin with, you know, where we can get all different sides, you know,
Right.
because some people might think like I do, and some people might think you like you do, and you know, and that's, you know, I mean, that's why we started this to
Right.
talk about it. And
In all
okay,
aspects of it.
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you off subject there.
Oh no, and then
Somehow I always
and
do.
then like I said, I truly believe that, you know, and it's proven that people who have been molested or messed with when they were younger will turn around and not break the cycle and will continue to do that with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
Let me
proven
know
that
if it.
the
Hey,
next
Jody, let
time-
me know if it gets too loud. I keep trying to mute it.
You're fine. You're fine.
All the grandkids decided to come down here all at once.
Uh-oh. Do you need to go?
We're talking about serial killers and
Oh, it's right in there. Incense and fucking.
Do you need to go for a little bit?
oh, they're playing with Ouija boards.
Yeah, didn't you hear him? That's my girl's freaking pissed right now. And I'm like, oh, go downstairs and talk. What?
Great.
Well, we might be doing another live tonight on whatever.
On
y'all are
Ouija
doing.
boards.
Oh Lord, Shauna, do you need to go? And that's fine if you do. You can click back in if you want to. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And I'm really bad about that, y'all. And please forgive me because I have a one-track mind and I forget. And I always have to say what I'm going to say because I'll forget it. So, but anyway, go
the
ahead,
last
Suzanne.
thing I remember saying was talking about how it's proven that people who have been messed with or molested will turn around and do the same thing that was done to them to another victim. You know, they don't break that cycle. And I think that's how, you know, serial killers get, you know, they don't break that cycle. It evolves. And then I think, you know, because somebody made them feel vulnerable and was controlling them. And then they try to exhibit that same control over another victim. And it feeds their psyche, you know?
Their ego,
Yeah.
So I saw Shauna shaking her head no. Do we
okay,
have a debate?
so when a child is here, when a child is molested and they grow up to whatnot, you know, it's still a choice. It's not necessarily that it feeds on to to become a serial killer. I mean, that's not necessarily
I
true.
completely agree with
No,
that.
that's
At
what-
some point in time, and I tell that to people. I at some point in time, you have to make a decision and say, I choose not to do this or continue to do
Right.
this. I choose to break the cycle. And at the same time, though, you have to say, I choose not to blame this that happened to me for the reasons why I do whatever I want to do. You know, the world don't owe you a damn thing. The world
Right.
ain't ever going to come back and tell you, I'm sorry that this happened. It's your choice and what you decide to do and how you're going to make it through.
Right. Right.
That's the way I see it.
Okay, so during her adolescence, she was abused by her grandfather in sexual relations with her brother. She became pregnant by her early teens, and that infant boy was given up for adoption. During her adolescence, she was also forced out of her home and to live in the woods.
Yes.
Maybe it's just built up anger.
Well, I honest to God believe in her case, I believe, had a bunch of anger. I think she, and if all of this is true, and I'm not saying it's not, but if all of this is true, yeah, I can see a bad seed happening. I can see you turning out, wanting to beat the hell out of everybody and hurting everybody, and yeah, I can see that.
Because I could totally see her being depressed.
Yeah.
You know, you try to make yourself better. You're getting it from everywhere. You're trying to do better. You can't. You're being thrown out of your house. You're stuck in the woods. You don't have no money. You don't have education.
Right.
To do anything. So you resort to the one thing you do know, which in her case was prostitution, to try and do what she did. Now, I don't condone her killing people because at some point in time, she had to say, hey, I'm going to kill these people. But I mean, I do believe that she was raped and stuff while putting herself out there. It's dangerous to be doing stuff like that.
And you know what? I don't ever condemn anybody for prostitution or stripping. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I mean, in fact, I think that's another issue. I think they should make prostitution legal because, I don't understand why men can pay for it, but the ladies will get thrown in jail. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So I'm not going to go there. But anyway,
right, that's a whole. And we do have that as a subject in our bowl.
Yes, we'll hold off on that one. Y'all, and I'm sorry about that. I'm real bad about it. Okay.
Well, what did they say? What did they say? If men can do it, women can do it better.
Yeah.
So, but in that case, yes, the women do get thrown in jail, but so do the men when they are actually caught.
Yeah, but
both parties do go to jail.
Look at Heidi Doss and Charlie Sheen. Hell, he was a known. He loves prostitutes. Did anything happen to him? No. And Heidi had to be thrown in jail. I felt sorry for her. She was doing her thing, making that good money. Hell, if I can make good money like that, I'd be doing it too.
Jody, look what I'm vaping.
Loon. We all need to be vaping now.
I'm vaping a loon. We're literally talking about a loon.
Good Lord. Okay, so
how many people did Eileen kill in total?
Oh, that's a good one.
Does it tell you? Do you have that there, Jody?
Well, I thought
Let's say
she was guilty of killing 6 men.
But she
what I thought. I
probably,
was
it
gonna
was
say 7, but it
probably a
was
whole
6.
lot more.
Yeah, that's what she was
Right.
charged on.
Hmm.
Right. She was charged on 6.
So,
Okay.
it's saying at least 6 men.
But you know, if it was just, do you think it was just men?
Okay, it's saying it was later revealed in 89 into the fall of 1990 she had murdered at least 6 men along Florida highways. In mid-December 1989, the body of Richard Mallory was found in a junkyard with 5 more men's bodies to be discovered over the months. So they're
Right.
telling you how many she actually
An
killed.
actual. Right.
Yeah,
That had her motive behind it.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that one's a good one.
My mom is like, first thing she's like, oh, this is mom's words exactly. Oh, she's a bitch. There, and again, that takes you back. There has to be a reason why she is a bitch. There
Yeah.
has to be a reason
Right.
why
She had to develop that tough skin. And I don't think bitch is the correct word for that because I mean she just didn't put up with bullshit
yeah.
is what it
I
is. She
agree.
didn't put up with it. She didn't have time to do that. Okay, so what about our second person, Doretha Fuentes? Does anybody
I'm
know
still
any
reading up on
information?
her. Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Hello.
I'm keeping track of time and looking and
The second person was Dorothea.
Dorothea Fuentes.
Don't remember her last name, but it's called the Saint of Elf Street.
Is she's the one that did the individuals where she would take their Social Security? Is that correct?
Yeah, she opened up a boarding house.
Yeah.
Isn't
awesome
that the
that?
one in California?
Like a
Let's see
Yes.
here.
Okay. So
It
she
was
had
in
this
the
humongous
Bay
boarding house, and she
Area.
would take in these people, and she would make them sign over her as power of attorney. She would soon take their checks and cash them, and as it got later in, she would find an opportunity, murder them, and then bury them in the backyard with a cement slab over the top of them.
Yeah. It's saying that
Yeah, and then the thing was that she got the other people that lived there to dig the holes. Little did
Yeah.
they know they were digging
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
own grave.
she would say like she needed stuff like I guess like a garden or whatever, or she would want to plant something, right? Or
Mhm.
is that, am I thinking
And
of the
she
right
would
one?
get that. Yes. As she would get other residents or people that were living there to dig these holes,
These jackets usually don't.
and then
fit
she
very
would
well.
put their bodies in there.
My arms are like.
Again, it says here, in her early life, Dorothea led a life of neglect and poverty. Well, I know a lot of people that has lived in poverty that don't have a toilet to pee in. She was born in California in 1929. Her father died when she was only 8 years old. Her mother followed him into the grave soon after. She turned to prostitution, and as she hit puberty to provide for herself. There's another one. She went to prostitution. Let's see. She met Fred, which a 22-year-old soldier. They fell in love. they was going to get married, but he found out her real age, and I guess she was like 16. Dorothea did not tell him her real name and married him. She told him she was Sherrill, a 30-year-old woman. How could how could you pass for? I mean, I don't know. How could you pass that old to be
He
so
had a
young?
rough life. He
Well,
couldn't
that's
look
true.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
I mean, you have to think about it. Back in my younger days, you know, we were out clubbing, doing stuff
Which is
like
fine, I
that,
have
and we
green
wasn't
cards, so-
alone.
I thought
After the honeymoon phase was over, Fred, who expected his wife to have the maturity of a 30-year-old woman, soon found out that she was extremely immature. On top of that, her lies was so far-fetched that no one of sound mind and body would believe them. So she was a prostitute and she was a liar.
Right. It sounds like she made up stories.
She boasted. Okay, I would have a hard time believing this. She boasted how she was related to the ambassador of Sweden.
right.
Oh my God, my favorite thing ever. This is really-
And how she survived the Black Death March, and how she was friends with famous actress,
Well,
with a famous actress.
Yeah.
stand stuff down.
Wow.
The marriage survived for some time, and she had 2 kids with Fred. Due to the pathetic state of affairs in the house, it was impossible to raise the children. They finally divorced, and Dorothea completely ditched the children, sending one to live with her husband's mother and putting the other one up for adoption.
Oh, wow.
How horrible for those kids. I mean, it's one thing putting babies up for
Right.
adoption when they don't actually know their parents, but you know, for them to already know them. I mean, that's
Right.
so sad. Dorothea went on to commit petty crimes that eventually landed her in jail. After she got out, she married a sea merchant. Since he was away a lot, she constantly cheated on him behind his back. Blah, 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 blah. Her husband put up with it for 14 years until they finally divorced. And she divorced her when she was put in jail for running a brothel. She remarried a 19-year-old. Wait, what? She remarried a 19-year-old after that. The marriage lasted for 2 years. She remarried yet again, and marriage was with a drunkard and lasted only 6 months. After that marriage ended, she became a drunk. Looking for elderly men in bars, she would drug them, forge his checks and their names, and steal their valuables. She got convicted again, and yet again, her punishment was short and sweet. This was in 1981. She became the manager of a boarding house, 1426 Elf Street. This is where the truly dark parts of her story begins.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty insane and intense story.
Right.
They did an investigation on that, and that was crazy.
Yeah, I remember there's also a Netflix special on that, on her.
Oh, really? I missed that one.
Yeah, there's a Netflix special on her that shows about that. I mean, apparently she came out on the news, the TV. Like the news stations were on the street filming when they actually pulled out the remains of people from her front yard.
Yeah. And you know, they didn't actually find everybody that they were looking for either.
No, they didn't. They found just different bone parts from everybody. Like they would find a femur or an arm, or you know, they would find just different parts, never the whole complete.
Might have ate them.
Okay, so she did.
I don't know if she did or didn't.
She did 3 years in prison. I guess for forging. She began managing a boarding house, including the financial concerns of elderly. Sometimes that went against her parole, or something that went against her parole. Even though police officers constantly came to check on her, nobody seemed to care that she was violating her parole. She became known as a saint, a messiah of the system, the Mother Teresa that would take in all the poor and the elderly, put a roof over their head. And that's where the demon of Elf Street comes in at. A relative of an elderly
Right.
person
And she
living.
would,
Do what?
she
What,
would take
Suzanne?
in people that like, no, she would take in the people that nobody else wanted to put up with. You know,
Yeah.
like kind of like a halfway house. People that were not bad enough to be in jail, but not sane enough to be on their own.
Yeah.
And she would become like their payee, and she would take their money and she would kill them and continue to cash their checks, and she'd have their money. She never reported them missing. It wasn't until like the caseworkers of these people couldn't get in contact with them that they realized, hey, my person's missing. They're not answering my phone calls. Let's look into this lady.
Yeah, and that's exactly this person, of this elderly person. I guess called, and the police came in and did a check, and they met with Dorothy, and they found her very pleasant and accommodating.
Mhm.
When the police asked to dig her backyard due to the complaints they had received, she did not resist. After digging for a bit, a bone was found by police. A little further digging was required and find a completely decomposed body. Dorothea acted like she was extremely shocked and distraught by the situation, and pretended not to know anything about it.
Yep. And I think it was one of her tenants that she had there who was not mentally stable, or
Yeah.
that ended up helping the police and telling them she made me dig the holes and put, do it.
Yeah.
And so that blew her whole, I didn't know there was dead people in my yard. That blew her whole story out of the water.
Right. I'm not seeing here. Do you know how many people that she killed? I'm not seeing where how many she.
Hers, I wanted to say hers was a little bit higher count, but I'm not sure. That's where my pen
Oh,
went.
okay, here it is.
Was
Yeah.
was it like 12 or no?
Autopsy
Or am I
reports
wrong?
and other evidence revealed that she had poisoned them with sleeping pills and other medication. After several other victims were found in a coffin in a river, her body count came up to 9 people. She was convicted and given 2 lifetime sentences in jail. That is where she stayed until she died in 2011.
Wow.
God, that was what, 12 years ago, 11 years ago?
So guess what, y'all? We paid all
So,
those
like,
years.
So
That's
that's
insane.
what brings me to my thing. I mean, she was slapped on the wrist for identity fraud or for forging checks.
Yeah.
She was given little time. She was in jail. She didn't reform. They let her go. They let her come back out into society. She was breaking the law again. They knew about it. They still didn't do anything about it. And then now that the bodies came up, they remanded her back, but she wasn't rehabilitated after her first stay in prison.
Okay. So the third one, which is a new one.
Who is that?
Yes, this one is recent.
This one
Oh,
just
yeah.
happened on March 1st. What was her name?
This is,
Marceline?
yeah.
It's actually a transgendered woman. The name was Harvey Marcelin, is the
Yeah.
original name. And this goes back to, are they rehabilitated? Because in 1957, he or she had an assault, was in jail for assault in 1957.
Right.
1963, she was convicted of a rape and allegedly shot a woman in Harlem. She served 20 years for that. She was released in 1984 with life of parole or life on parole. Okay, so after being released in 1984, in 1985, she stabbed a lady in Central Park. So she killed another lady. She went back to jail, okay, and then she was paroled in 2009.
But get
I mean,
this.
2019. So that
When
was
she
just,
killed that lady, it says here, it stabbed a girlfriend to death in Central Park and placed the body in a trash
Yes.
bag and just left it on the side of the street. Like,
yes.
oh, no.
Okay, so when she was found on March 1st, and mind you, she's 83 years old now. 83 years old. She was on her little motor scooter or electric
Now
chair, wheelchair,
remember,
sitting
but
on
hang
top
on a
of the
minute.
severed leg.
Remember though, she was released in August of 2019.
That was what, 4 years ago?
Yes.
4 years ago. And on March
Uh-huh.
1st,
And so she's 83 now, so she got paroled when she was 79.
right. That goes back to
Okay.
what we were saying before. Why do we
That you cannot rehabilitate.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
they're gonna
it's
get
not
out, they're gonna
working.
So literally
Right.
she was in her little scooter going around Home Depot.
Yep.
Looking
And
for
sitting
some
on
new
top of a
machinery
severed
and
leg.
tools.
Was sitting on a severed leg in a trash bag. She was, and that's because they have her on camera, outside cameras. She was wheeling a cart, like a shopping cart, that had the torso and a head in trash bags in the shopping cart.
Sweet.
But
Like just
at Home
dragging
Depot,
around her body.
when she was at Home Depot, she purchased a saw, a trash, and some trash bags and cleaning fluid.
Yes.
The next day,
I think there's
she was
something
seen
wrong
on
with this
surveillance
picture.
footage. On the next day after doing this, she was seen on surveillance footage leaving the shopping cart behind the street. Because shopping cart behind on the street, police said. It was discovered 6 hours later by a passerby that notified the police, who discovered the dismembered body inside the trash bag.
Yes.
Wow.
And then after that, they go to her apartment and find another human head, another severed head in her apartment.
Was it identifiable?
No, not yet. As of today, I don't know that it's been identified, the severed head.
It's
But-
been
Did it have any ID?
What gets me
The
though
head,
is
okay,
this one.
no. So the leg that she was sitting on, the leg in the trash bag that she was driving around, matches the severed head that was in the apartment. The other head and the torso that was in the shopping cart was the same body.
Well,
So
how'd
they're
they
two
match it
different-
up?
I think it was the DNA, the blood. That's
I
how
was
they
gonna
knew they were from
say
the
because I mean, they're missing a few parts to put that puzzle together.
twin. Yeah.
Uh,
So I was just
First of
like,
all-
what?
first of all, there's several things wrong with this.
I
She
think, yeah, there's a whole
previously-
lot wrong with this.
She previously served more than 50 years in prison for 2 other slayings, is
Uh-huh.
what it says. She was
Right, which
on
was the-
lifetime. She was on lifetime parole for manslaughter. Lifetime parole.
Yes.
Why would you, if you had the need to get out of jail and start killing again, why the hell would you ride around on your little scooter or even push a shopping cart with a body part?
Maybe
don't
she
know.
thought she was gonna lose something, and she needed a little trinket. I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
she has
first of
FOMO.
So first
ring.
of all, first of all, on a scooter anyway, but sitting on a leg, that has to be uncomfortable to begin with.
I was gonna say, and then how do you walk around going, "Oh, I love your legs. I gotta have them."
She probably went around telling people, "Hey, you want a little leg?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I was just joking about that.
Yeah, no, it's just,
I'm not.
it's like I was talking about last night about those guys cutting off those women's boobs. Okay, I understand. I mean, I don't understand, but they say that victims like to take some, or killers like to take something from their victims.
I'll be honest.
to
That
remember
one's
by.
weird. That one's like
Okay.
weird. That's like, they like to see the torment in people's faces. And it just the anguish. I mean, come on, dude.
But they say that, I get what you're coming from, Jody. The serial killers take a token of their
Yeah.
victims.
Well, not
Like,
my boobs.
Well, I
Just
know,
like-
but
just like-
like this, the lady with the leg in the bag.
Well, hold
She
on. Let
had
me pull a toe ring off here. Something like that.
You know,
But not my boobs, man.
Supposedly it's to relive the crime, that they get the memory of it.
Well, how can they relive it
take
when
a
when
leg?
they're eating it?
Like in their brain, when they see it, it gives them like the memories of what they were doing or when they were
That's
committing
like
that
some
crime.
Hannibal Lecter stuff, man.
Right, and I think when they eat them, it's like it's a part of them. Like it's.
Now, I
to
don't
me,
know
that's
about
what-
eating no people. I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that.
That is so wrong.
Hey, I will eat a lot of things, but I'm not going to eat. I mean, I've been so hungry to where it's like, man, I'm starving. I could eat your leg off, but do you think I could? I wouldn't.
Right.
That's a mighty fine looking, tasty leg there you got.
God,
Looking like a big hunk of juicy meat.
I know it.
I mean, just like these guys with these boobs that they would cut off.
That wow.
And then they would do their stuff on these boobs and then eat it.
That's insane. Just insane.
That is beyond, to me, that is beyond help.
Comprehension?
to me, that is like, okay, here's the deal. You are a complete nut, psycho, crazy loon.
Well, I'm looking on the floor for the screws. Because they ain't loose. They done fell out.
Instead of feeding these people for the rest of their lives, they need to be put first ahead of anybody else on the death row, and just
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. That has me, and I know that I am one for I guess it's capital punishment is what it's called, for them to have the executions and do that. And I know that I'm not supposed to be, and again, the religious thing, you're being Christian or of Christian faith, you're not supposed to believe in capital punishment. That's left up to God to punish that person. I totally get
see
that.
an eye for an eye.
But at the same time, I mean, you think about it, if somebody would have done what they did to your family member or to you, would you not want them to have that capital punishment?
oh yeah, and
You
that
know-
goes back to that's what I was going to say a while ago. Being a mother, I mean, I can't ever see killing someone, but being a mother, if I had ever found out that someone hurt Morgan when she was little, or he did something really, really bad, I would flip
I would
out.
not. Okay, so in that instance where you would be completely lost and you lost your rage, it would be completely justifiable being that upset when you kill somebody. However, in your brain, you still have that mentality. It was just one person. You're not going to be like, yes, I killed this person. I'm not going to go kill another, kill another.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And, these people, I like, not too long ago, a man killed this person when he found out that this person was molesting his little girl.
Right.
He ended up killing this person. Well, I just think that's one less animal in this world, that we don't need around. I mean,
Right.
do I think people need to go killing everybody? No, but he went to jail. And it's just like, this is a really screwed up situation.
Yeah.
I think if we went back to public hangings, I believe that we would have a lot less crime because people know they can get by with so much crap nowadays. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? Oh, well, I might serve 15 years. I might get out on good behavior in a couple of years. No big deal. Or even if I get life in prison, hey, it's going to be like a spa day for me. It's all going to be free.
But with that same token, Jody, what if you get that jailer or that executioner that gets off on executing these people and is creating, that other person, that psyche?
That's true. I mean,
sorry, Shauna,
this is
I
why
didn't
we
mean to
started
cut you
this
off.
group. No, this is why we started this group, is to get all different aspects.
Right, Shauna was going to say something and I kind of cut her off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. I was just letting you know that we have only a few seconds left of our show.
For the hour.
You're kidding.
No.
We're at 59:35.
Wow.
So let's take about a 15-minute break and then we can come back.
Sounds
Well,
great.
I'm going to have to jump off of here because I'm kind of over here trying to get this stuff done. But yeah, let's go ahead and take that break, y'all. Stick around. Come on back. Catch me on the next show. And girls, I'll talk to you on the down low.
Right.
Love you, girl. And we'll be back, y'all.
Love you too.
We'll be back shortly. Thanks for hopping on.
All right.